And welcome back to the channel, guys. Tool reviews of tools I use. Today we're going to cover a little bit of a different topic. Instead of showing sort of new tools that I've been showing recently, I'm also going to show some second-hand tools I picked up today. Car boot sale, which is a little bit like a flea market for my American friends. Yeah, you can get a whole load of second-hand all bits and bobs and tools. There's always buckets of tools that people are selling. A lot of it's junk. You've really got to watch what you pick up and what you buy in the moment. You've really got to analyze it and see what they're trying to sell. People will unashamedly sell you all sorts of junk, even dangerous junk if they can, just to make a few pounds. But there's some tools that if you know what you're buying, you can't go wrong with them. And I've got some good examples of that here. And just on that note, this car boot sale today, he was trying to sell me a folding platform, your typical plasterer's step platform. And I said, right, if we could just set it up, and I just want to make sure that the clips all work and everything like that. And he sheepishly set this thing up, and the clips didn't work. So this thing was not going to hold my weight. The moment I stood on it, it was just going to fold out from underneath me and probably put me in hospital, all for the sake of him making £15 or something and me trying to save a few pounds. So really, really be critical of what you're buying and make sure you're actually getting a good deal. But I think I picked some good deals up. I'll let you know at the end just how much all of this stuff cost. But I can tell you now how much, if you were to buy all of this at its kind of current market value and you were to buy all of this new, you're looking at about £100, thereabouts, maybe a tiny bit more, but I'm being quite conservative on what I'm saying. This is about £100 of tools in current market values, even when I'm calculating this at second-hand market values. This is about £100 worth of tools. That's what it will get you. So I'll go through what I managed to pick up. I'm really pretty happy with this stuff. First thing, chuffed to bits with this. This is a Monument immersion heater spanner. I'm currently going through some plumbing qualifications. I'm looking to just branch out in a big way into plumbing eventually. So I'm just picking up the tools of the trade that as and when I see them. This is kind of an old school one, really strong, stamped out of one piece of metal. You can beat on this all day and it's going to be absolutely fine. And I picked this up for just a mere couple of pounds. Absolutely so happy with it, so happy. Monument, great British brand, fantastic. I picked up this square. This is an old company called Rabone Chesterman, and I did a little bit of research the other night on one because I had one of these, which was a smaller, I think 6-inch version, and I saw this one. I asked them how much it was, and it was so ridiculously cheap. I had to buy it. I checked; it was all square and everything, and it was all exactly as it should be. You can't tell through the camera, obviously, but this is solid block of steel. It's not even aluminium. It's not wood. It's a solid block of steel. It weighs a ton. It's beautiful. It's a really nice bit of kit. A lot of this is plumbing related stuff at the moment. Just as I'm going through the college, they make you all check your angles and things like that, and so I'm just using it for that at the moment. I've got this sliding bevel tool. You might have seen one of these in my previous toolbox tours. I think it was my construction toolbox tour. It's such a useful tool. I paid for the modern equivalent of this, which is exactly the same looks wise, but it's a brown version. I paid probably about £11 or £12. I got this for pennies. I got this so cheap, and it's fully working exactly as it should. And the really nice thing about it is it still says, I don't know if you can see it there, but it still says made in England. I'm sorry the camera's not picking it up there, but and the current ones don't, because obviously they're not. They're made all in China now. All Stanley stuff is. This is such a nice sliding bevel, this particular one, so I had to pick that one up. Checking my angles as I'm doing my pipes and things like that. Really, really good tool to have. Got a classic basin wrench. This one again is by the same company as the Monument, the large spanner, the immersion heater. Classic basin wrench. It's got the made in the UK there. It's got the sizes, and you can just about make out Monument just there. And yeah, really, really good handy tool. I don't like to carry this in a box because it's heavy, but sometimes you just need that just to get up there in place of a box spanner. I managed to pick up a nice set of mole grips, locking spanners, locking pliers. Sorry, then yeah, you can't go wrong with a set of these, especially for pipe work where you're handling hot pipes. This one, the teeth were slightly worn, slightly weathered, but only slightly. It's just not feeling particularly sharp there. But as you can see, it's reasonably good. This is good quality stuff. Stanley, made in Spain. This particular model. It's definitely an older model though. Not seen ones like this for a long time. And I checked that it all worked really nicely. It all tightens up as it should do and everything. Absolute bargain. What I paid for it. So plumbing, you're often going to need to cut through floorboards and things like that. You wouldn't imagine how much I paid for this. Again, ridiculously cheap. I've cleaned it up a little bit. It just had a little bit of scuffs and things there, as you can imagine, being in someone's toolbox. But it was, as you can see, nice and clean. You can tell it's got virtually no wear just by the fact that the print on it is still mostly there. And I've had a feel along the edge of the saw, super sharp. Don't check a saw here. Check the saw somewhere in the middle because no one pulls it back all the way to there. So check that. This has not been used hardly. I reckon it's probably cut about one floorboard, and that was probably about it. Got that for an absolute bargain price. I nearly bought one of these the other day for a flooring job that I did, and I'm so glad I didn't now. That's going to be super useful for plumbing. I got these box spanners as well. A little bit of a story behind these. I was doing a tap in a small, really super small basin. It was so hard to get to, and it drove me absolutely insane. It had this back nut, the old style brass back nuts, and I had nothing that could get to it. I had my typical basin wrenches, all the usual ones that I'd use, all the little tricks that I could use to try and get to them. I just could not undo it, and it took me so much time. Eventually I got it done, but it took me so much longer than it would have done if I just managed to get a box spanner up there. Now, all the box spanners usually go up to around 19 millimeters, and this is just a little bit bigger. And so I had to go and buy a box spanner that was going to try and fit this. And you have to pay almost as much as you'd pay for a full set of box spanners to get the spanner. And I still couldn't find the right size. This is the exact size that'll get me onto that. And it just had a tiny little bit of a burr. I just filed the burr down, and it's a perfect fit. It's the one I've been looking for ages, and I just ended up getting the rest with it. All for just a couple of pounds. Didn't pay hardly anything for any of this sort of stuff. So, the big question, how much did I pay for all this? Around £100 worth of tools at current market value. I paid £15. That was all I paid for all of this. Now, I appreciate if you're looking at this, to you, this stuff might be junk, but if you need it and if you want it, it's not junk at all. And the lesson learned is that you can go in the second-hand market. Don't be afraid to go out there and find your tools in the second-hand market, because you can save an absolute fortune. You don't need to buy all of this stuff brand new all the time. As much as all these influencers and people on YouTube are constantly telling people to go and buy stuff and buy this and buy that, and even I do a little bit of that, and I tell you about the latest tool I've bought. You can still go and just get real bargains on the tools that you're after, if you know where. This particular car boot sale that's near me, this guy sells old school tools, old-fashioned tools. Some of them that you can see in the background here are from him. Still really usable. I still use them to this day, but I like them in the background. Look at these, just ones like this, old school Gilbo tin snips. You just can't go wrong with it. They're absolutely fantastic tools. Save yourself a fortune. I've gotten to know him over the years as well. He knows me, and he does me good deals and everything like that. So yeah, go and see what's in your area. Check out the local car boots. Check out garage sales, anything like that, and see if you can pick up some great bargains as well. Till next time, all the best, guys.